Welcome to the second module of the Road to Grand Centurion. Hop on board. This is an advanced course to be taken after the foundational courses, such as Quick Start, the Heritage Coaching Academy, Chris Leader, Brian Buffini. They all go through the foundational programs to set up in your business to get you an award-winning level. If you want to take it to the next level, this is where we're going to focus on. And we're going to do it the way this course is designed is it's a video series that you can take. We do meet on Mondays at 10 a.m. But if you're looking at this through the Excel platform on the video series, you'll take these courses. And then, of course, you can always contact your manager, your coach, your team leader, anyone that will help you along the way. Myself, if you need if you ask any questions along the way, it's okay. Give me a call, give anyone a call to help you throughout, either to hold you accountable or answer any of your questions. The steps along the way, what we've been going through so far is that first foundational program. So video series number 1, foundations. We want to make sure that you have that key business plan set up with your listing presentation, buying presentation, your CRMs up and going, your key sphere of influence reminders and newsletters and note cards and everything that you're doing in order to get to that award-winning level. Number 2 is today, the Rainmaker. How do you make it rain? Okay, so making it rain means you have a huge amount of people in your pipeline at any given time that you can go to and transact and buy a house, buy or sell a house, because they are coming to you, because you set your systems up, because you've done certain things in order to make them happy and build those relationships. So we're going to talk about how to make it rain today. Then we're going to get into scaling and ROI, return on investment. How do you scale your business, spending as much of your time effectively, as well as your money? So any of the funds that you have, any of the budget that you've put towards return on investment, getting a return on something you've spent, how to leverage that. And then we're going to get into hiring. Hiring is the fourth section, and it's so important to build to the Grand Centurion level because you're going to need help. You're going to need help from an assistant, a buyer agent, and more people, maybe to build a team even. The number 5 is need to feed. You will have a need to feed your team, other people that will be helping leverage beyond the Grand Centurion level. Why? Because you need to know how to scale their business as well and teach them and train them and get them going with lead conversion. Number 6 is the plan, to put it all together and say, here's my roadmap. This is what I need to do next in order to get to that next step. What do those steps look like? Well, first of all, grab your gym buddy. And on Thursdays, we do get together as a group. If you're in the Excel platform, video series, this doesn't apply to you, but what we do is we meet on Thursdays in order to share ideas, see other people's plans, talk about best practices, etc. So do that within your own offices. And again, you can do this and create this atmosphere yourself if you'd like, if you have a team or you have other members in the office that maybe want to take this along with you, as well as just giving your manager a call and say, hey, listen, I just need to borrow you for, a little bit of your time, half hour, let's book it in and go through some of the questions that you have and accountability measures. So where does your road start? Well, you have the master's level first, right? So that's your we're going to say, your award-winning level. That is an award-winning level where you know that you've done enough business that, yeah, you've got a systems going, you've had success, and you should be in this business long-term. Anything above $115,000, you know that you're going to make a career out of this, and this is going to be your long-term goal. But how do you get that Centurion level, that top producing level where not only are you going to be a good real estate agent, but you've got a lot more money coming in? So that's the home of the top producers. Are you looking to hire an assistant next? Are you leveraging your time next in order to make more money or taking some funds and putting that towards advertising and looking to return on investment? And that's what we're going to be focusing on over the next 2 sessions. Then double Centurion. If you're in double Centurion mode, you have leveraged probably your time super effectively, as well as possibly hired an assistant at that 320 level, and you've been able to double your income because of that. Okay. And you're going to look to actually start to want to scale your business through the work of others. So bringing on more team members, etc. The Grand Centurion level is the mega producers, over $1 million. Those mega producers are they own a business now. It's no longer sales. It's Let's make money through others. Let's produce systems, motivate others to build a team and network of people that are all at Centurion level. And you've got a lot of them working together to really kill it in this industry. And you'll do really, really well if you get that high. So we are going to talk about what it is to be a rainmaker. We talk about rainmakers because they are the people that others gravitate towards to give them their business. In order to get to that level, I'm going to sort of go through a bit of a process. And this is a calculated process. I've learned this from Fortune 500 companies. Actually, I'm going to say Fortune 500 companies. They're capital investment companies, billion-dollar companies that have got into the real estate space. And they have decided to analyze what it takes in order to acquire a client and to make advocates out of those clients and build out a huge business. So to be a rainmaker, they're highly successful in generating business and bringing new clients. They're often highly experienced, knowledgeable in the real estate industry. Obviously, you have to be, and have a knack for networking and building relationships. That's the key thing. Rainmakers are often sought after by other real estate firms and developers. They can help to bring new business, increase profits because they're people gravitate to these people. So what I'm going to do is go into that quantifiable business. They really analyzed real estate, and they do the big companies that invest money into other companies. What they want to do is develop systems in order to be more profitable. And in order to do that, they look at a typical sales funnel, and most people do look at a typical sales funnel and say, well, what does it cost to get one deal done? What is the cost acquisition of a client? We have a CRM, we have print newsletters, we have emails and door-to-door and local events and cold calling and seasonal pop buys and social media, online presence and bench ads and postcards. This is our business plan. And we do this in order to get a client. And we take them through a process of converting that client by qualifying them, showing them properties, offering to buy a house, sell a house, and then a contract you put together and you've got a deal. As soon as that deal closes, then you have a return on your time, effort, and money. And so what we're looking at is what sort of time, effort, and money do you put in order to develop that client? So let's go back and look at the cost acquisition of a client. A cost acquisition is, for a real estate agent, is the cost associated with acquiring that new client. This cost can be including advertising, marketing, promotional activities. Can also include the cost of time spent on networking, prospecting for new clients. Obviously, if you go out and spend 8 hours of prospecting today, it produces results, but it costs you in terms of time. And you can do that that calculation by just taking your like either the money that you're making last year or possibly the money that you project to make this year, dividing it out by the amount of work weeks that you work, as well as the hour or the days of the week and the hours in the day, and then figure out 40-hour work week, working 44 weeks a year, 7 days a week. That is going to bring your cost per hour to, let's say, $100 an hour. That's what your cost is. So if you network or you go out and prospect for 8 hours, it costs you $800. So how long does it take you and how much money does it take you in terms of time or money in order to get that client? So they did that and found out that the average is around $2,000. So let's go with $2,000 as the cost acquisition of that client. And all the things in the systems that you have in order to fill the funnel, okay, it costs $2,000. And then in the end, you get a deal. And the deal netted you $20,000 in commissions. So you know that your return on investment is $2,000 to $20,000, 10 times return. Okay, that's your typical sales funnel. They don't stop there because they want to see how their business can really expand and grow. How are you a rainmaker? Obviously, doing all this sort of stuff is going to make you $20,000. That's great. You're not a rainmaker yet. So let's get to the next step, which is the lifetime value of that client. Okay, you spent $2,000, you made $20,000, but what's this client really worth over a span of time? So what is a lifetime value of a client? It's a measure of the total revenue generated by a client over the course of their relationship with the real estate agent. It's calculated by taking the total amount of money the client has spent over the real estate services from the agent and subtracting any costs associated with servicing that client. Okay, so what does that look like? And we're going to look into that as the client now buys the house, moves in, gets a closing gift. Then you have an opposite sales funnel. You're looking to stay in touch with it. If you do it properly, this is what it could look like. Properties properly. Anyway, 3-month pop by is next. So 3 months, pop by, see how they're doing in their house, give them a little gift. 1-year anniversary. 1 year comes around, you give them a gift. Nurturing program. Continually to pop by newsletters, send them thank yous and notes and gifts, and you have a nurturing program that involves, a 5-year plan of staying in touch with that person until they convert. Okay. And now this conversion is to create referrals. But what I want you to do is convert them not only to just selling another property in 5 years, but absolutely building a network of advocates, these referral clients. Okay. And the reality in the end is per person, okay, per referral, right? And for that one client, they're gonna net you $170,000 over a 30-year lifespan, because you're gonna know them for the next 30 years. They buy their house at 30, they sell at 65. If you met them at 65 and they sold their last house, guess what? It's not 170,000 anymore, because they're not buying and selling any more homes, although they might give you some more business in terms of referrals. The fact is over the lifespan of a client, they have a potential over 30 years to give you 170,000 because they're buying and selling every 5 to 7 years. Now, I really want to focus on the referral end of things, because it doesn't stop at 170,000 just for the one client. If you create an advocate, what happens? So let's look at that. Okay. You get one client that's worth 170,000 because over the 30 years, that's what they're worth. That's what they do. They spend, they purchase properties through you, and that's the money that you can make over the 30 years. But let's say that one client turns into an A, which is an advocate. And I'm going to go through what A's, B's, C's, and D's mean in relationships, but that one client could give you 2 referral. And let's say those 2 clients give you 2 more referrals. Okay. And maybe one of them gave you 2 more referrals, and then one of those gave you 2 more referrals. Okay, this would be a good business plan, right? Creating advocates. And the other one did the same thing, gave 2 referrals, et cetera, et cetera. Each one of them giving 2 more. You get the point. Each one of these referrals over a lifespan of your business is good for 170,000, because that's what the average is. They calculated this. Okay, so at $170,000 times 18 new clients over the 30 years, you have a potential income of $3 million from these people. It is an example of what can happen. Okay. Now you divide that out by the 30 years, and you're realizing that every year you're doing an extra $100,000 because one client, it keeps giving you referrals. And what the concept tells you is that if you have 5 A clients and each one of them is giving you business because they're giving them business, they're giving their business, it can explode to 102,000 per year. Okay. For that one client, which means one client, you've got 2 advocates, that's 200,000, 3 advocates, 300,000 every year. If you have 5 advocates, it's good for $500,000 a year if each one of them are giving you 2 referrals and they're giving referrals, and et cetera, et cetera. So it just spirals. Okay. So what should you do in order to create these advocates? Well, let's really look at the funnel again. Create an environment where your business plan is doing all these things in order to spend your time and effort and money to convert into a deal. That deal was worth 20,000. Great. But what do you do on the other side? What is that worth to you if you stayed in touch with them? Give a closing gift, a 3-month pop by, a 1-year anniversary, nurturing program, conversion, 170,000 per person. And if they refer people, 170,000 per every referral that are advocates. So that's the 3 million over 30 years. Now, the question I would say, knowing this information, and this is again what these companies, this venture capitalist company did, was they realized that they should take one client and say, what should we spend in terms of time, effort, and money on that client every year? And they came up with 30%. So they're saying over $170,000 in 30 years, 30% of that. So I'm doing a quick math here, but let's say that's $50,000. Okay, over 30 years, and let's say it's $1,500 a year. That goes back to the 2,000. Right? You're under that 2,000 it costs to get the client in the first place. So why not spend $1,500 on one client every year? every year, whether it be time, effort, or money. Stopping by, giving them gifts, taking them out for dinner, doing 1-year anniversaries, give them a big screen television for all I care. The fact is that if you give them that type of respect and relationship building value, you will absolutely get those 2 referrals every year. I guarantee that. Like that is, if somebody gave me a flat screen television every year or something of that value and spent that type of effort and time and money on me and appreciated me, everyone I know, I would be saying, you've got to use that person as a real estate agent. Not only just because they're amazing people, because they do a great job and they've got a great system and they really stay in touch. And if you're gonna sell your house, and you got to sell it with somebody who knows what they're talking about, as well as they're amazing people. And you're just going to be showered with opportunities. So to become a rainmaker within real estate, the easiest way and the most fun way and the best way is obviously doing everything you can in order to create advocates. So let's look at your sphere of influence. When we look at your sphere of influence, what we ask you to do is start at the D's. Okay. Now, I'm not saying start every time at the D's. I'm saying right now, look at your phone and start going through and start to clear the noise away. You've got 500 contacts, 1,000 contacts. Start to go through them. And if you see somebody you don't know, you got to make a decision. Do you delete that or do you re-engage with that person? My suggestion is re-engage with that person. Call them and apologize. Hi, Jim. You're in my phone. I got your number here. And I'll be honest with you, I'm embarrassed, but I'm just trying to clean my contact list up. How do I know you? My name's Aaron Richardson. I live in Newmarket, et cetera, et cetera. And those, Aaron, we met 3 years ago at that open house. Oh, that's right. So did you guys end up ever buying? I'm sorry, I didn't stay in touch. He said, oh, well, yeah, it would start going into conversation. All of a sudden they go, I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm still looking for a pre-construction property in the city to invest in. And all of a sudden you've got a deal. You turned a don't know into a B, possibly an A, by just making that phone call. So I want you to start making phone calls to the people that are in your phone, you're in your contact list, and find out if you know them. If you know them, they're a C. They're a contact. Say, oh, they're a contact. You contact them and you apologize. You haven't talked to them in a while or whatever you have to do in order to re-engage, right? And you say, but the reason why I'm calling today is I am just getting more organized and I'm just looking for your, address and information. I send a newsletter out. I sell real estate and I would hope to, stay in touch with you. I really value our relationship that we've had in the past. So that's your C's, your contacts. So what you'll do is you're in the tagging system in Rainmaker, you'll do a little tag that has a bracket on one side and then a bracket on the other side with a C in the middle. And the brackets allow you to go brackets to search. So when you're in the search section, you're not just typing in C, because then you'll get Chris, Christina, Christofferson. You'll need to put the brackets in the tag section. Anyway, so that helps you sort, okay, and pull up all your C's. And if you're not sure how to do that, we do have videos on our CRM system, and we do explain that, how to tag people with A, B, C's, and D's. So your contact within the system will be there, and then you'll start contacting them more often, sending them a newsletter, getting their address, and they will eventually do business with you. Why? Because they think you're great. They think that, wow, what reached out, stayed in contact, sent us newsletter. We know they're great in real estate. They do lots of business. They turn themselves into business. They call you, sell their house. And then you are going to turn those B's, which are business, and you're going to classify them as business. If they've never, ever given you a referral, it's because you didn't impress them enough. You didn't stay in contact. You didn't thank them enough for their business or whatever. But your business contacts will turn into A's and give you other business if they love you. If they've given you other business, they're advocates. And you need to feed those advocates all the time. Advocates are the ones that are $1,500 a year. That's what you're going to spend on them. B's, you may only do a pop by, a note card, some great things to make them into A's. So you're still spending time, effort, money on the B's, but the A's, man, they're gold. They're worth the $3 million. Right? That one advocate can bring you over 30 years, $3 million. And I know that because I do have and know people in the business that one client, that one family that just exploded the business for them is probably put them in the top producer category every single year, because they do 5-6 deals through them every single year. And I know some of you have those clients like that. Those are advocates. Sometimes we call them A pluses. because they've given you so much business that, and you got to always pay attention to them. So if you're looking for business today and you've done business in the past, I'll always ask you, bring up your A's. Well, what are A's? Advocates, people giving you referrals. How many people are giving you referrals? And if you don't know, there's a problem because you're not focused on them. You don't know who they are. You can't bring them up. And I'm going to ask you, so what have you done with them lately? What have you given them lately? Have you called them lately? Your A's are treated really well. So are your B's. Your C's are contacts. You turn into B's. So yeah, you're going to stay in contact with them and try and get some business. And then of course you're going to look to delete or don't know the people that you don't know is, maybe move them on and delete them or just re-engage and then turn them into C's. Okay. So that's how you're going to create that funnel along with all the other good stuff in your business plan. So how to fill the funnel. Filling the funnel involves you having a great business plan really revolved around two things: people you know and people you don't know. The people you know, you're going to keep in contact with them, and you're going to, of course, have that ABCD relationship and just shower them with your reminders as well as your relationship building events. So newsletters, calendars, note cards, pop buys, emails, CRM events, calls, lunch, dinners, and golf and entertainment. I just give an example of different things you can take them and do. Those are the people you know. Treat them really, really well. The people you don't know are your other sources. And we're going to ask you over this session is to think about, now that you have your foundational all set up, what are your other two sources? Is it online lead generation? Are you door knocking, cold calling, network groups? Are you doing paper advertising, open houses, farming? If you've done a little bit of everything, but nothing really well, I'd suggest you do one thing really well and then move on and do something else really well. Really, two main sources with a good business plan for each one is what you're looking to do. Okay, so I really want you guys to focus on making sure that you're filling your funnel, not just with your sphere of influence, but maybe with the people you don't know too. Right. And I always find that the agents that come up to me and say, I need business, I need leads, etc., they'll always gravitate to people you don't know. It's like, who do I got to go call or spend money with, or what ad do I need to put in the paper to get phone calls? Can you give me leads? Can you give me leads? Like anyone who's begging for leads right now, okay, it's because this foundational stuff's not working for you. Real rainmakers, it doesn't matter. People gravitate towards those people because they know the business. They build relationships. They thank people. They're always in contact and touch. They shower people with gifts and praises. That's a rainmaker. People gravitate towards people who can make it rain, right? It's just the way it is. And you can become one. You don't have to have necessarily the infectious relationship. You don't need to be the life of the party. You just need to be smart in your business activities. You need to have systems set up, remind people, give great and useful information, and of course, follow through on your commitments to get out there and prospect and meet new people. So one of the tools in order to do this, I use, and I've definitely got a lot of agents using. A lot of people find success with this. It's called the Agent Success app. It is an app on your phone, but it's also a login on your computer. So you can use it either way. But what you'll do is you'll track your sales goals, prospecting, and your client nurturing through the app. And what it does, it helps you stay accountable to yourself. It's like a Weight Watchers app where they give you a point for Weight Watchers for real estate agents. So what it does is it first goes through what your goal is going to be for the year. It turns that into prospecting points and you've got a section in there. You can add your prospecting in there. So what I think you should do is on Mondays, you should bring this up first thing in the morning and plan your week. I'm going to follow up on the open house I had this weekend. I'm going to invite neighbors to the next open house. I'm going to pop by and do a certain amount of gifts this week. And if you do them, you'll log it in the system. The logging in the system gives you points. In this case, you can see here that I have 34 of the 53 I'm looking for the month of January. In this case, I had 20 pop buys, 5 points for one open house. So one open house equals 5 points. Did that on the 22nd. I invited neighbors to the open house and I had 7 of them come because they love me and they decided to come by. So 2 just listed points because you sent out 100 postcards for 1 point each. So I've sent out 200 postcards in this case. So I got 2 points and that get put towards my 34 of the 53 points for the month. That will keep me on pace for always knowing what my prospecting is doing. By the way, great app to give your team members. This holds them accountable. They'll come to your team meetings and say, I've done 34 or 53, and you know exactly what they did this weekend. And you hold them accountable and said, how did your open house go? Tell me about what you said in your dialogue and your door knocking. You know, did you follow up and call the open house people that came through. Make sure you do that today. That would be a big mistake if you don't. So these are ways that you can coach and train and mentor. And by the way, it does have a coaching mentorship system. So you can add yourself or your team members can add you as an accountability partner so you can see their prospecting points. So what a great opportunity to build out a team plan. So every Thursday we do get together as a group. If you're not getting together as a group because you're doing the video sessions, then what you should be doing is a business plan, making sure that you relook at that and engage your plan to make sure that you're doing those items. Obviously, the Agent Success app, download that as well. That'll help make sure that you're following through on your plan. Your laptop, your CRM. So your CRM needs to be set up with A, B, C's, and D's. So we'd like to look at that and make sure you're doing that. If you have any questions, we have video support as well as support at the offices with your managers. Managers will know how to do that for you. And then some videos to watch if you're looking to add in other sources. One video is in geographical farming. That's going to show you and if you're going to do farming, make sure you watch this video. You do not want to make mistakes because it's going to be costly in terms of dollars. Do not put any money towards farming without talking to us first or watching this video and making sure that you put it in the right area. Always have us look it over and let us help you with that. The open house video that we have on here is one of the best and most long-standing seminars that we've done over the years with Pam Prescott. She did always such a great job teaching people how to host an open house effectively and make the most out of an open house in terms of really converting those prospects. So I hope you guys had a great session here and good luck in the future sessions and make sure to reach out. We're here for you. Take care. Have a great one.